You can't run away from me, Lucy.
This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
And we are together again. It's been a while. We've all been traveling and busy with work and moving, and
it's been a lot going on.
It's been a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm still jet lagged AF, and I've been back for almost a week from England.
How was your trip?
It was good. It was a lot of fun. And I know I've mentioned this before, but a lot of the movies that we watch on Hallmark and Lifetime, Netflix is a little different in the UK, and so a lot of the movies that we watch on Hallmark and Lifetime are on Netflix.
In the UK.
In the UK. So our movies are being seen, just in a different
Okay.
venue.
Okay.
Do they operate under the same titles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just on Netflix.
Because even here, they'll sometimes toy with the title until the week it airs.
Uh-huh.
Are they listening to our podcast over there?
Well, we do have listenership across the pond.
Yeah, I'll look at the stats, and we'll get a few occasional listens in other parts of the globe for sure.
And if you are listening from other parts of the globe, welcome, and let us know. Go to our Facebook page or our Insta and let us know where you're listening from.
Yeah. And if you watched this week's movie, A Chef's Deadly Revenge, we apologize.
Yes, I apologize. I picked this movie because I thought it was going to be about knifing and blood and guts and a possible dish with something gory in it. And
There kind of was
mistaken.
Yeah, there was
a
definitely
dish
something gory or gross.
There was gore, but it wasn't gore.
It was
kind
maggots.
of disturbing. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, and a doll head was in there, and some skull.
and the dead fish.
Yeah,
I shaking out the prop department on that one.
Yeah.
What do you have that looks gross?
But it was no hand in a pot pie or something.
I did expect maybe somebody getting poisoned with a dish.
Yes. I totally thought there was going to be poisoning going on of some sort.
Yeah.
I was disturbed by how poorly the restaurant was run.
Yes.
Oh, she was the worst. She was the worst.
What I thought was funny, and we'll obviously get into this, is that they were ringing a bell and yelling out that order was up like they were in Mel's Diner, and this was a nice upscale restaurant.
It was potentially a Michelin, because they said that it was potentially going to be a Michelin star restaurant.
Can you imagine going to a Michelin star restaurant and they're just shouting out, "Order up! Table 3's ready!"
There was one scene in this movie where the two ladies are preparing for the dinner rush, and they're spending 45 minutes together putting together a roll.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Oh no, that woman would have been the worst person to work for. I hope she paid well.
Yes. She was pretty relaxed at the kitchen for the most part.
Well, the friend was doing.
Yeah, the friend was doing all the work. The friend with cancer.
Megan. Poor Megan was doing all the work.
Yeah, Lucy was an asshole.
She seriously was. It's bad when, and we'll get into this, the person, it's bad when you start feeling for the person who's in the wrong, who's totally in the wrong. I started feeling sorry for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because basically, and she started it pretty much. Like he kind of started it, but then
She didn't start it, but she threw gas on the flame.
She kept it going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was addicted to it a bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She didn't want it to stop.
Oh yeah.
That you know who can do no wrong, Les?
Who?
Take a guess.
Oh, I know who can do wrong. Who cannot do wrong? We all know who cannot do wrong. Kurt, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Well, we're recording this on May 13th, 2024, and May 11th is Blac Chyna's birthday.
Woo!
Happy belated.
Oh, she's a Taurus, just like me.
Yes, this article is from eonline.com. So Blac Chyna has turned 36 this year. This was she celebrated both her birthday and 2 years since she was reborn as Angela White,
Yay.
her original name, which kickstarted a personal transformation journey. As for why the influencer made the decision to change her life, I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of everything that was just going on in my life, she told host Devin Franklin on Merge TV show Food for Thought in an interview released May 7th. I really had to strip down everything that I thought or knew that was holding me back as a person. Now, Blac Chyna was originally a stage name the Lash Cosmetics founder used when she worked as a stripper for 6 years, more than a decade ago. And she kept it as her alias after she moved on to modeling, acting, and music videos and launching her own beauty businesses. But it's not who she is. I would like to be called Angela, she said. Blac Chyna is the brand. Angela White is myself. The entrepreneur who shares son King Cairo 11 with ex Tyga and daughter Dream Kardashian 7 with ex Rob Kardashian continued. The brand looks like glitz, glamour, everything beauty, this and that. She's going to put it on. She's going to perform for you. Angela's just myself, the mom, the friend. And so on her 34th birthday in 2022, Angela decided to get baptized, documenting the experiences on Instagram. I've always known God. I've always known Christ, she said, but I just wasn't living in it. Then a religious transformation was followed by a physical one. In early 2023, she began getting multiple cosmetics procedures reversed. She underwent 2 breast reduction surgeries, had silicone removed from her buttocks, and dissolved dermal fillers from her face. I was looking at old pictures, you guys, she said on Instagram in May 2023. That face was looking crazy. But those weren't the only major changes she made. Yes? Do you have a question?
Oh, no, I was just going to say I just looked
Okay.
up what Merge TV was, but we can do it after the report.
I didn't know what that one is. Anyway, she also got sober. She deactivated her OnlyFans account where she posted NSFW content to paid subscribers. It just really took me being truthful to myself, she said in her latest interview, just with the lifestyle that I was living, the things that I was doing, how it was affecting people in a positive way or negative way, the influence. Now, you could look this article up if you'd like at home, because there are various photos of her throughout the years. All different
Like a photo gallery.
Outfits.
Nice.
Many. I'm scrolling down, and that's pretty much the whole article there.
Yay!
Happy birthday!
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Angela.
So if I'm looking at this correctly, Merge TV looks like it's a regional cable company in North Carolina.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it's
like some cable companies will have like their own or their own channel or their own shows.
right.
So it's probably
So,
it was
yeah,
probably
it's
like a
right off
morning
the
talk show or something.
Okay.
Oh, like how they had evening magazine in the Philadelphia area, and other areas too.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even like, like a Kelly and Ryan kind of show, but like local. Or I guess it's
Every
Kelly and
city
Mark,
has
isn't
one.
it? I'm sorry?
Yeah,
That's right. Yes, Kelly and Mark now. Yeah.
and every city has one of those, like
Yeah.
a local sort of a morning show.
I mean, LA, we have KTLA Morning News, and the legendary Sam Rubin passed away this week.
My gosh, and Jennifer York left too.
Who is Jennifer York?
She was the weather woman.
Oh, okay.
You know who
I
just
know,
passed
that was
away?
a shocker when Sam Rubin passed away because he wasn't that old.
You just passed away. The woman from Jaws. The woman, like the opening scene of Jaws, who gets eaten by the shark.
Yes.
She just died.
And like this is the
Wait, she survived being eaten by a shark?
Well, yeah, apparently. Let me find out her name so we give respect.
Because also
Woman
Patty
who died.
Simcox from Grease the movie died as well.
Wait, who did? Okay, the movie from Jaws was Susan Backliny. Backliny. Okay, so who's that person from Grease?
She played Patty Simcox.
I don't remember that.
She was the girl that was like, yay, like the cheerleader, like the very excited girl. And she was like a cheerleader, and she was like,
All right. Well, rest in peace.
Yes, Patty Simcox and Jaws lady.
Susan, I have to look it up again. What was it? Susan Backliny. All right.
Now, was that her only film, swimming in the water and getting eaten by Jaws?
She reprised her role in 1941. She was swimming around in that. I believe it says she was also a stunt woman, so she did some stuff.
Oh,
like that.
got it.
Stunt woman, yeah. All right. The great Roger Corman passed away as well.
Oh gosh, at 91, right?
98.
Oh, geez, wow.
So that's our in memoriam.
Yeah.
For this episode, I watched lots of TV. I just watched. I watched. I just caught onto this Young Sheldon show. It's a funny show.
It's in its 7th and final season, and it probably ends in like a couple of weeks.
I came into it late in life. It's a funny show.
Did you watch Big Bang Theory?
No.
Wait, so you're watching Young Sheldon with no, like none of the
It doesn't need anything.
It doesn't need it.
It's a spinoff, right?
It doesn't need a preamble.
It's a spinoff of a wildly more
that.
successful show.
Yeah, I know what the Big Bang Theory is.
And then there's going to be another spinoff
it.
next season.
I know all about it. It's the first marriage, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Georgie and whatever the wife's name's first marriage. Yeah. Oh yeah, I came into that late in life.
Do you know I've never seen an episode of Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon?
I think I may have watched the pilot to Young Sheldon. I used to watch Big Bang fairly regularly, but I didn't watch it up to the end.
You know, other show's good. Ghosts.
I've heard
that was good.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's a funny show.
I tried
that
like an
started as a
episode or
UK
two,
show.
and it just seemed too shticky. The
I
premise of
don't
like,
think-
oh, they're talking to ghosts.
See, these things are on. They're on in the house, and I'm usually kind of doing like something else. You could like do something else while it's on, but in the bits and pieces I see, it's like, oh, it's good. Characters are good. It looks good in terms of like how it's shot, and it's just it's a good show.
Because my questions are, when it comes to TV, my questions always like, are there women fighting? Are they yelling at each other?
No, that's not what I want to watch.
wine?
That's not what I want to watch.
Then I'm like, well, if they're not yelling at each other and
interest.
fighting, then I'm not interested.
I even have Survivor. I haven't not seen Survivor in years, and that's been on.
Nah, not for me.
Another one.
Well, there is good news.
Oh,
Do you guys watch Traitors?
Oh.
no,
What?
Traitors?
no. I know what it is,
No,
but I don't
it's-
watch it. No,
I have no idea what that is.
Well, it was
1000% would not
announced
enjoy
today.
it.
Well, it was announced today that Paris and Nicole are going on as a team for Traitors.
What are traitors?
It's a reality show in the U.S. It airs on Peacock.
Yes.
God.
Where everybody is in a castle with host Alan Cumming. And there are 3 people who are the traitors. So there's traitors and faithfuls, and you have to find out who the traitors are. And if a traitor wins all the money, but if a faithful wins, they have to split the money.
Okay.
The sound you hear coming out of me is the sound of me not giving a fuck.
I'm showing interest. I did hear that Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. We're going to be doing something together.
Traitors.
Again.
That's
Well,
what
they
they're
didn't.
doing together.
I saw some kind of a teaser on Inside
Yes,
Edition.
it's traitors. That's what they're doing together.
Oh, now, all right, now we know. It's a long, drawn-out teaser. Now I find out what it is.
Do you guys watch Palm Royale?
Yes,
No.
I'm a few weeks behind though.
Okay, it's very good.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
saw
It was
The
a
season
slow.
finale is amazing.
The on ramp
was
to it
bad.
was a little slow, but once it got up and running, I was like, oh, I really like what they're doing here.
See, Palm Royale is right up my alley. The season finale of Palm Royale is amazing. I'll leave it at that.
Allison
Club.
Janney has the bitchiest, the absolute bitchiest things to say, and it's so fun.
Oh, she's in that? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yes, and Kristen Wiig.
I'll go watch
Mr.
it.
Wig, Carol Burnett, who is amazing in it and barely has any dialogue, but is hilarious.
Ooh, I can't believe it's like well into her 90s.
Yeah, Laura Dern.
Ricky Martin,
Yep.
who looks very tasty.
Yep. Josh Lucas.
It's tasty.
Josh
Josh.
Lucas looks tasty too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like candy.
Hmm. Well,
You know where
I
that's
don't know.
from, right, Kurt?
What's that? Tasty like candy?
Yeah, and it's tasty too, just like candy.
Oh no, I don't know what it's from.
It's from Vitamin to Benjamin from I Love Lucy.
Oh,
Jeez, I'm supposed to know that. I also didn't know we had. I should have. Yeah, I'll bring it up now. Something. So we talked about Schmoo in the last episode.
yes.
And, Jason sent like a little animated. I guess the opening of the Schmoo show.
Yeah,
Schmoo
yeah.
is turning into a violin, a flute, and I said Schmoo is very versatile. And then I get these messages back. These coded. I didn't even know what was going on. Like I thought maybe you were having a stroke or something.
They weren't coded at all. They were common terms that I would.
Schmoo isn't verse. And the only thing I could figure out is I think you were saying like he was so verse I think means I looked up what verse was.
Mhm.
Some of the stuff I couldn't even look it up. I didn't even know what to look up. But I think you were saying verse means someone's a top and a bottom.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
Sexually, they do it all. But I said Schmoo's up first, and then I said Schmoo is and I said to pig emoji and a down arrow emoji.
I didn't know. I had no idea, and I don't know how to even look that up and know what that is. There's a pig. What's the pig?
Pig bottom.
Pig
Saying
bottom?
that the Schmoo is a pig bottom.
What's a pig bottom? I'm supposed to know what that is.
Yes.
Why? Well, you better tell me how. So I'm gonna find out.
Well, you know what a bottom is,
Yeah.
but it's a bottom that just can't get enough.
Oh, that's what a pig bottom. Like
Yeah.
they're pigging out.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
All the slop.
Kurt's like, this is all too much.
All right. Now I know.
Kurt's like, this is all too much. It's too much.
I guess everybody has to know this in case they get a message like that. They could know what it is.
Yes.
Right. Well,
All right.
let's get into this debacle.
Yes. A Chief's deadly revenge.
A chef.
I had high hopes for this movie at the beginning.
Okay.
And then, because we start off with
Oh,
a
see,
cold open.
I did not have high hopes out of the gate, and I'll tell you why. Because I was like, oh, there's a chase scene at night. Oh wait, they're not in L.A. Which meant it was an acquisition, and Lifetime didn't make the movie. So I already knew that it was going to be an uphill battle.
It looked like they were in San Francisco.
No, I think they were in
No, it looked-
Baltimore. They were East Coast.
It
It was snowing.
It looked
Oh,
like
that's right. It was
Boston, Boston and San Francisco had a litter, and this was the runt of the litter.
No, I immediately thought, oh, this looks kind of like Baltimore because that's where my brother lives near there. So, and it looked very East Coast, wintry.
Oh, it definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you, Baltimore.
Maybe they were. Maybe they're in Toronto. It looked
It was definitely
dirty.
stuff.
And
was
they
really
mentioned
really
something about the
cold.
harbor too.
Oh, it could be
Yeah.
Baltimore.
It was definitely snowing, and it was Christmas time because there were
like stars,
Christmas trees, and there were like Christmas lights.
Yeah.
All of the street lights had like Christmas lights on them.
Yeah.
So we see it's a car chase, and they're going down a hill, then up a hill, then down a hill, then up a hill, then down a hill, and it's snowing. So then she drives, there's a woman, and this guy's following her. Then the woman stops at an alleyway. She goes running into the alley, which I'm like, no, dummy, no, you don't go running into the alley. But she knew what she was doing because there was a sign in the door that said employees only. And then the guy is saying, you can't run away from me, Lucy.
How did that go?
You can't run away from me, Lucy. And she runs into the employees only door.
She's being chased by a voiceover artist.
And then
Is that Thurl Raisencroft?
and then we see the Chiron 2 weeks earlier.
I'm going to catch you and lock you in my home studio.
In a different world. In a world. So this is where I did have hopes, though, because they show the restaurant and she's very busy. So I'm like, okay, she's busy. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
And the kitchen's very busy. They're cooking. The restaurant is full. And we see a guy playing with like a little toy car. But I just thought that he was doing that because he was just waiting for his food. Because then the guy's making origami.
Why did they ever pay off why he made origami or why he had a Matchbox car with him while he's sitting there at the restaurant? It's such a weird detail to not address later in the movie.
And they only showed the origami in the beginning.
Well, there was origami in that shop later, but they never comment on it. It's just there.
Because the guy like gets up and leaves, and he gets into his car, and then the chef, she's in the back cooking, and then one of the waiters comes back and goes, someone left this for you. And it's the origami, and she opens up the origami, and a key falls out, and one of her other sous chefs, I guess, was like, oh, that's my key. I couldn't find it. And
sous chefs go into a party with the Schmoo.
Right. Oh, so? He did look like he was like a Schmoo lover.
He's used to losing his keys in a bowl.
Yeah. You think he's a pig bottom?
Yeah.
Pretty extreme accusation to make.
I was just dancing around it. You stated it.
Well, I've never heard it before, so it's like when you learn a new word, you have to use it like 3 times in a sentence, so it can become part of your vocabulary.
So
this poor actor that played Greg, like his friends would be like, "Hey, they were talking about you on this podcast, and they had some opinions about you, dude."
Now, Greg, if you want to come on the podcast and talk to us, and
yeah,
you know,
him and his lawyer.
Yeah, we're not saying the actor is. We're just saying that it appeared as a viewer that the character choice was that.
Yes.
You just consulted your lawyer.
There were actually, and now that I think about it, there were a lot of things that they didn't pay off.
I legit thought you were going to say, now that I think about it, there were a lot of pig bottoms in this movie.
Okay, I didn't say
there were a couple. There was another one who...
You better be careful. You're talking about someone else who was a pig bottom?
The characters.
The characters.
At least our interpretation of their interpretation.
Because there was another character, put it this way, there was another character that I was like, wait, you have a wife?
Well.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
I couldn't.
Okay.
Let's just say I couldn't articulate what Lucy's dad was, but now I can. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Oh, so we find out Lucy's being stalked, and the stalker like sent her some pictures to prove that they were stalking her. They got a hold of her mother's watch and like broke it.
That's not nice. How'd they do that? Oh, they stole it from her home.
Yeah, they stole it from her house. And then...
And there was like a menu with it, too.
Yeah, there's a menu with it as well. And so she's telling her friend Megan, and she is thinking that it's her ex-boy... not Megan, but Lucy, the chef, is thinking that this is her ex-boyfriend who's doing this, Aiden.
Aiden, yeah.
And then Megan did something that you rarely see on a Lifetime movie. So Lucy's being stalked, she's in trouble, and Megan's like, well, why didn't you just stay at my house tonight instead of going home by yourself when you're in danger? But Lucy said, no, I'd rather go home because I'm being stalked and I'm in danger. And then Megan is like, well, okay, we need to at least file a police report. And Lucy's like, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. So the next day we find out is the opening of the restaurant. And this is a brand new restaurant. Lucy took, I guess it was a restaurant before. Lucy like fixed it up. She upgraded it. And they're in the back getting ready for the night. And there's a knock at the door. And Greg forgot his key. And
No, Greg was knocking on the freezer door.
Oh, the freezer. Oh, that's right. This is the other thing that they didn't pay off. Because Greg's knocking on the freezer, Megan lets him off, and Megan is like, okay, so the freezer's always going to lock, so you got to remember the code, which is 7372. And she said it more than once.
Yeah, they made a big deal out of the code, like the audience will need to know this information later. The audience didn't need to know that. They just needed to know that the freezer locked from the inside, which I don't know is a thing.
I hope not. I don't want to get locked in a freezer.
It seems like that would be super illegal.
But there was a code to get out, so he could have, like, if the locked from the inside, he could press in the code.
Yeah.
So I think that's how they would probably get around it being illegal, because there's a code to get out.
Well, it just seems like that would not be a thing that you would want to lock and be stuck on the inside and not have the code. They said something about like Wagyu beef is expensive and it could get stolen. It's like, I get that, but if you got into the restaurant to begin with and got into the freezer, you've already gotten pretty far in the stealing of the beef.
But you know what? We'll never find out because it was never mentioned again.
No.
You need a code to get out of the freezer?
That was the thing, yeah.
Really? So they just assume people are going to get locked in the freezer and then they got to get out with this code.
7372.
They want only staff that's supposed to be in there to have it.
I'm not getting in that freezer.
No.
And she was like, and she made it a point to be like, Greg, do not forget this code, 7372.
Shriveled up.
But it didn't matter because
I wonder if there was a scene, because there is a scene later, and I'm not really ruining anything when I say this, but like there's a scene later in the movie where Lucy like has a really stressful moment as she goes to like take a breather, and she goes and sits in the freezer.
Oh, and starts crying.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
I wonder if there was a moment where she did that and then like forgot the code and had like even more of a meltdown, and they cut it out.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I'm not getting in a freezer.
So then Lucy shows up, and Megan is like, so you ready for tonight? Did you call the police? And Lucy's like, well, I didn't call the police, but I called a security company, and we're gonna and I'm gonna tighten up the security around here. So then they're getting ready to open. Lucy's nervous, so she goes for a walk to get some air. And she goes to the park near the restaurant. She sees a guy. He's playing with a dog. And, oh, another reason why she stepped outside is because she got like a random thing on her phone with a picture of her and her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And we also find out that her ex-boyfriend was like totally abusive to her.
Yeah.
Like he would stalk her, he would track her movements. He was like awful. So she goes to the park. She sits next to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I've never seen you around here before. You don't own a dog, do you? I know everybody who owns dogs around here." And they start talking, and she's like, he's like, "What do you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I work in a restaurant near here." And then he's like, "Oh, I know." And it turns out that he knows all this stuff about her, and she gets creeped out.
Yeah.
Which, okay. And he was creepy. He
was super
Yeah.
creepy.
And the dog's name was Crouton.
Yes. So,
Which, now that I think of it, is kind of a clever name, because as the writer, you're giving the audience a clue about who this guy is and why this is happening. And so they're giving the audience a literal breadcrumb.
Yeah. See, at least that little thing worked.
So she the guy's creepy. So she literally gets up and kind of like quickly leaves, like, "Oh, gotta go, bye," and kind of runs away without looking like she's running.
Yeah.
And she goes back to the restaurant. She tells her friend, she's like, "Oh my God, I just ran into this creepy guy." And then they work the night. It goes well. She's taking out the trash, and she kind of feels like she's being watched, which that freaks her out as well. This movie actually started out okay, because this part was like, she felt like she's being watched and got creeped out and ran back in.
Yeah, there were certain choices that were made, though, that it didn't, and maybe this really happened because this is ripped from the headlines, but it seemed kind of wild to me that this woman that is really paranoid that her ex is still stalking her and that weird shit is going on kept going into these dark alleys and dark parks by herself constantly throughout the movie, and lived in this apartment that was very wide open with these huge windows that you could see in from every angle.
Yes.
Yeah, that was weird.
Now, this is where I started
Like she wanted to be
feeling
stalked.
less sorry for her. And this is where I started to feel this woman is a menace.
Yeah.
Because she calls her dad, and her dad basically starts in with like, "You're crazy and you need to get some help."
Well, I think she kind of was. I mean, I don't know. They didn't really arrive at that in this movie, but they kind of did. It did seem like she was off.
Well, even
her dad's like-
early in the movie, Megan says something to her that basically says like she's having these sort of delusions almost. And at that point, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if like Megan's the bad guy and she's gaslighting her here." But no, like Lucy was just a little nuts herself.
That's what I thought too. That's
Yeah,
what I thought too. At one point, I thought that Megan was probably doing all of it.
Yeah.
I didn't think Megan was. I thought Lucy was probably the bad person. I thought she was stalking him. She was at a certain point.
And to the point where
Yeah,
Megan's
we'll
her
get to
friend, and her dad's like, "Look, Megan called me and says you need help."
Wow.
And this is like right out of the gate.
I also thought it was possible Megan could be the bad guy because she's the one constant who would have been around, like would know both the dad and Aiden and this creeper guy, and has moved restaurants with her to this new town.
Right, exactly. And so the dad was like, "You need therapy. You need to see someone."
Yeah, he's right.
and but then she actually sees someone watching her from a car.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes and tells this to Megan, and Megan's like, "Listen, girl, you're delusional." And then she's like, "I think this is because the way that your ex treated you." And so they work another night. Her friend is like, her friend is leaving. Her friend is like, are you sure you don't want, why don't you just come over and sleep at my house? And once again, she's like, no. But then she leaves the restaurant and she can once again see that she's being followed. And she sees the person in the car following her. Oh no, she drives away and she's being followed in the car. But then she says to herself, you know what? I'm done. I'm sick of this. I'm done. I'm going to go after you like you're going after me. And this just set her off. So she gets out of her car. He speeds away. And we definitely know. And they didn't try to hide the fact that it was the guy from the park either.
Right.
So he speeds away, and she follows him, and she follows him home. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She follows him home, and she sees him in his house with a woman, with his wife, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so then she finds out. Doesn't she talk to her friend, or she Googles or something and finds out? Oh no, she tells her friend, and they find out that he and his wife have an antique store.
Yes.
Yeah, his wife has one. Yeah.
And then she's like, "Well, I'm gonna go." She was telling Megan, "I'm gonna go tell his wife." And Megan's kind of like, maybe you should just cool it.
Yeah, we did skip the creepy detail that Frank left a dismembered mannequin in a wheelbarrow outside the restaurant with a note that says you're in way over your head.
Oh yeah, that's right. Some postmodern piece of sculpture in a way, like an artwork.
Yeah.
With like lace on it.
Yeah.
So to be fair, he is totally fucking with her.
Those two would actually be a good match for each other.
I also saw a world where that could have happened in this movie.
I mean, rather than it should have ended up being a love story.
Because he does fuck with her, but then she fucks with him right back, and it just
perfect
gets
couple.
Which, in my opinion, took the suspense out of the movie. The minute she started reverse stalking, there was no tension in this movie anymore, because it's like, you're just as bad as him.
Right.
Stalkers
I can see if it would have been like, what was that Farrah Fawcett movie, Extremities, where like she kidnapped the guy? Did you ever see that Farrah Fawcett movie,
No.
Extremities?
I like how you say that like it's this common thing that, of course, Kurt and Jason will know what I mean.
Well, it was a Broadway play, and then it became a movie, and it was like,
I know.
Remember? So there was a time when Farrah Fawcett, after the burning bed, because you heard about the burning bed, and that was like her first foray into like serious acting.
Right.
So then after she did the burning bed, she then did a Broadway play called Extremities, which then became a movie, and it was her and Alfre Woodard. Well, it was like one of Alfre Woodard's like first gigs.
Okay.
And so Farrah so in the movie, her character was attacked by this guy. And then she went after the guy and found the guy and kidnapped him and like chained him up in her house. And so she was like, you terrorized and attacked me, so I'm gonna attack you back. And so it became like this sort of a morality sort of a play about like, if so, because then she became just as bad attacking him for attacking her.
Who was Alfre Woodward? Was she like her roommate, or
she was the sassy roommate?
She was a roommate. Okay. Was she bothered that there was somebody in the basement?
Yeah. It was Alfre Woodward, and then she had a couple of other roommates. Oh yeah, they were all bothered because they were like, initially they were like, okay, well, girl, you go, girl. He attacked you. You get him. But then they were like, okay, this is getting to be too much.
My roommate's really troublesome. She locks people in the basement.
There's a code you need to get out.
She does clean up in the kitchen, but yeah, she just locks.
And the big deal about this movie too was that Farrah cut her hair.
Yeah.
So she was rocking a short do for this. which meant
Oh,
this was back when, if you cut your hair, you were a serious actress.
well, Pauly Shore cut his hair in the Army now.
Yeah.
Right?
A tour de force.
So he's a
Christopher
serious
Reeve.
actor.
Christopher Reeve cut his hair in Class Act.
Know that.
So these are serious actors.
I think
I
my
like
friend was in class. Oh no, my friend was in
Those people are all right.
the first movie that they did.
House Party?
Yeah, my friend was in House Party. My friend played the mom in House Party.
Oh, really?
My friend Marianne.
I love House Party.
Yeah, my friend Marianne was the mom in that.
Hmm.
Anyway, so Lucy's like, I'm going to go and tell his wife. So she goes to the antique store, and the wife, who had no, the poor innocent wife who was just trying to sell antiques.
Wait, another important detail we missed that we can't skim over is that Megan tells Lucy that she has an appointment at the doctor that she needs a ride to because she's getting I think they said a lumpectomy.
A lumpectomy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So out of nowhere, Megan has cancer.
Right.
It felt very
And
The
then-
Room.
And then Lucy was like, why didn't you say anything? And Megan was like, well, you were busy.
She could have slipped it in.
Which I'm like, that's just, that's
Well,
not
you're so
something you just
busy.
kind of drop into hey,
Well,
we
you
need
can.
milk and we need milk,
Yeah.
sugar, and I need a ride to get a lumpectomy. That's how she said it. She kind of just
Yeah.
threw it out there.
It's a little rude too. She's like, well, if you weren't so busy with that stalker, you don't
And then,
ask about me.
And then and Lucy's like, well, of course. She's like, of course I'll give you a ride for that. Of course. What are you thinking?
And no, she won't.
Right, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Take the bus.
So
They have Uber in Baltimore. I've used it.
Sometimes you're not allowed to have an Uber to take you home though from a procedure.
That's true.
Yeah.
even from a colonoscopy, you have to get someone come and pick you up.
Yeah, I got a colonoscopy last week.
Did someone have to come and pick you up?
Speaking of being a pig bottom, I love the colonoscopy experience.
And that's our show. Thank you, everyone.
It was really relaxing. There you go. I have to use it one more time. It could be part of my vocabulary.
That was 3.
That was 2. I think there's a third one. I got to.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it was really relaxing. I'll tell you, it was like a great sleep I got. They gave me that propofol, the Michael Jackson's sleep medicine.
Yeah.
So I got some good sleep.
The only thing I hate about the colonoscopy is the prep.
The
That's
prep
the
is
worst
terrible.
part.
Yeah.
It was Gatorade and laxatives. It was
Tastes
fine.
worse than Gatorade.
It was in with I had to mix it in with Gatorade.
Yeah. It's real Gatorade or that mix that they give you, that
a real
powder.
Gatorade.
Oh,
I
see,
had a real
mine,
Gatorade.
it was like they say, because I don't know if they do this the same everywhere, but my doctor's office sent me this giant, it was basically a jug
That's what
to
they did to me,
make
too.
the drink mix in. And you could have just sent me the drink mix. I have pitchers at home. I didn't need a medical pitcher to make essentially Crystal Light in.
No, they're making money.
Yeah,
That was
that's
Miralax.
one of those too.
Miralax mixed with Gatorade. I had a
And you know what pisses me off? They can give you pills, and they won't.
No, you got to do it.
You don't even have to drink that, so they can give you pills that.
There's
Because
certain hours I got to drink it.
my mother-in-law was telling me that she's like, oh no, I get pills. They give me pills.
Yeah. Well, now they have that thing too where you can just poop in a box and send it in.
Right.
No, I'm not doing that. That's not a colonoscopy. It's the same.
It's
effect,
for
or
the same
Don't check
tests
it.
though.
pooping in a box.
That's like this movie. I'm surprised they didn't.
I'm only
Put the memory on that
pooping
here.
in a freezer that locks on the inside.
So Lucy goes and meets his wife, and she tells the wife, that she she just starts, first she pretends to be a customer, then they start talking, and then she tells the wife that she's a food critic who just moved to town. And the wife is actually nice.
Yeah.
And so the wife is like, oh, well, if you're just moving to town, why don't you come to my book club and you can meet people? I'll help you meet people.
Yeah. But she also tells Lucy about her husband, Frank. Oh, you're a food critic? My husband used to own this restaurant, but, times were tough. He couldn't pay rent. The building used to be his dad's. He had to sell it. He couldn't keep up with the rent.
And like the building had belonged to his father before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's like, even though he's lost the restaurant, he still has hopes that he's one day going to get it back, even though he's lost it. Yeah. And it's moved on to someone else. He still hopes that he's going to get it back. So
That makes me want to clear my throat.
Yeah.
So she says that she's going to go over.
I did it.
Meanwhile, the stalking is still happening. And then Lucy sends Frank a box with a dead fish.
Yeah.
And so then to retaliate, Frank sends Lucy a box with a dead doll and a bunch of maggots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
So now they're going.
Well, the dead doll and the maggots replace their food shipment for the day.
Yeah.
So it's not just Lucy, but Megan and Greg have to open this box too.
And then the baby reindeer woman in Scotland is like, you amateurs. I didn't need to do any of that shit, and I got Netflix. You're just on Lifetime.
I'm not watching it.
I don't understand the reference.
Not watching it, baby reindeer.
So Lucy then goes to the book club.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't read the damn book. They just
No.
they gave her like one day's notice, but she didn't read it in one night.
But the book club actually looked fun. I would have gone.
Just a couple of
They're
women
talking
sitting
about the
around
book.
drinking. That's
What book did they read?
Probably like some like Oprah book.
Mm-hmm.
Like book
From
from
the book club.
Oprah's book club.
Yeah.
Oprah has a book club.
They should have had him read something like, I don't know,
They read Mein Kampf.
The Sound and the Fury. Yeah. Mein Kampf, yeah. Read that book that OJ wrote when he was in jail. I want to tell you.
So
If I did it, that one.
If I did it.
That's the book you have to read for the book club tomorrow.
So they're at the book. So they're at the book club. Like there's wine. There's like hors d'oeuvres. They're chatting.
Ooh.
And then Frank comes home. And Frank looks at her like, "What the hell?" But they pretend like they don't know each other.
Now, this would have been a fun scene.
Yes.
They threw this away. It would have been a cool scene, like them like sitting there and like not, but
that's true. That this was like,
they dropped
instead
the
of that
ball.
unnecessarily long chase scene through the parking garage that ended so anticlimactically when Lucy gets to the bottom and she has to wait for the gate to let her out to open. It's like it just petered out. They could have drawn out this scene and had some really good tension going.
Yeah.
Right. And so Frank's like just kind of scowls at her and she scowls at him. And then she's like, "Oh, I gotta go." And then Frank's wife is like, "Wait, already? You just got here."
No, but he was like passively aggressive. Like he was saying, like, "I heard that restaurant's not very good. I heard they
that's
ran
right.
out of-
Supply chain issues.
I heard they ran out of food." That's bad for a restaurant. They didn't, did they? He was making stuff up.
No, they did.
Actually, the only problem with the restaurant was her.
He caught Frank cockblocked the food delivery with the doll with the maggots.
Cockblock might not be the right terminology.
Well,
to use
according to Greg.
Oh,
Right?
he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg. Okay. Well, he's going to take the blame for that.
Yeah.
Greg, you can't use that for every analogy.
Greg's like, I was told there was going to be a meat delivery today, and I figured it was either literal or figurative, but there's no meat of any kind here today.
None.
You know, now that I hear all that and I kind of put it together in my mind, I'll leave my opinion to myself.
So then she goes to the wife and tells her everything, like, your husband's a stalker, he's stalking me, blah 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 blah. And the wife is like,
but he's not there.
Bitch.
That's later on. He's not there anymore when she's telling him that. Yeah.
Right. That's later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she calls her dad, and her dad's like, you are insane. You need help. And then he tells her this story. But remember when you were a little girl and you thought that there was a monster under your bed, and so you put socks on your hands and did a monster dance?
The point is, you're crazy. He seemed concerned.
Yeah.
But he seemed concerned, like, from the beginning of the movie. Like, he,
well,
like,
can you blame him?
Like, just like, girl, you are not right.
He needs to go to some support groups.
So the antique's wife was like, I am not dealing with this shit. And leaves her husband. And was like, you're all crazy. You, her, all of you.
It seemed like she was leaving him, but did she like pack all her belongings?
Well, I think she stormed out in the moment because she was like looking through his phone while he's doing dishes, and she finds all the stalker photos that he took of Lucy. So she confronts him. He at first denies it, then admits it. And then so Lucy creeping from across the street, but doing a very bad job because she had her headlights on full blast while she's trying to lay low. The wife drives away.
And you know what? And you know why? There were no black hoodies in this movie.
No.
What kind of stalker are you?
I don't think anybody wanted a black hoodie. They wanted to be seen by each other.
At the very least, a black chef's uniform with a black chef's hat.
Did our friend Samantha costume this movie?
Again, I think it was an acquisition.
Samantha, are you listening? Did you costume this movie? DM us, Samantha, and let us know.
Yeah, we got to bring hoodies back.
So yeah, the wife is like, okay, listen, enough.
She's like, Jennifer Lopez, enough.
Yes.
But so then she's sleeping, and then she wakes up and she's like, oh shit, and then goes running to Megan's house, and Megan yelled at her because she totally missed Megan's lumpectomy.
Yeah, she was supposed to take her to the procedure and sit with her.
I don't know how she got back.
Uber. Or she...
Yeah, you can't. But I've heard sometimes that the hospital people, they get someone like from the hospital.
Depends on how drugged up you are, I think.
Or maybe Greg.
Yeah.
She's like, Greg, I'll make it worth your while.
Greg goes cruising in that park near the hospital anyway, so he was going to be over in that part of town.
She's like, Greg, I'll hook you up with a hot nurse.
Ooh.
So then Megan... Megan totally yelled at her. So then
but Megan was yelling at her. She's like saying all these things that like Lucy's been fucking up. She's like, and you're not plating like you should, and you're not there for a friend who needs her. I just love the equating like her plating food incorrectly with you're a horrible friend.
Right. So then she goes jogging. And then Frank pops out, and then Frank is like, look, I didn't do anything to you. And is this where, okay, I think I got my notes. What happened next?
Well, this is like when they're running, so like they're in the park, because she like confronts him, and it's like during the day. or he confronts her rather, and then he starts chasing her, but then he just like gives up.
But then because she had the bat, right? Is this where she had the bat?
No, so that was like way earlier.
Oh, okay.
That's when she was chasing him in the car.
We skipped over another thing. At one point, he's making a ship in the bottle.
Oh, I missed that.
You didn't see him making a ship in the bottle?
No.
Okay. You remember that, Les?
Yes. Yes.
He was constructing a little ship in the bottle, and then she's staring at him from outside, like she's gonna come in the house and shake that bottle.
Right. So
anyway, we're at the part where he's running after her.
But then just gives up.
Well, I think he got tired.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because she's running up a hill.
Yeah.
He wasn't as good enough shape.
Because she went running every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's chasing her, and then she just goes running up the hill, and he just stops. He's like, I'm not gonna chase this.
It's like he
idiot."
plays with matchboxes every day. He's not fit.
No.
Oh, so then she goes to the cops, and the cops are typical Lifetime cops. Because she goes and she's like, I'm being stalked, and they're like, oh yeah, well, he says that you're stalking him. And then she's like, she comes up with all of this evidence, and he's like, oh yeah, well, we basically believe him, not you. So then the next day, the restaurant critic is at the restaurant. So it's a busy
Taylor Abbott.
Pardon?
That's the restaurant critic's name is Taylor Abbott.
Mm.
Oh, I missed that.
The Taylor Abbott is there, and it is an important night. She's actually like, she tells Megan, I'm gonna have my shit together tonight. We're gonna do this. Greg, if you are on time and do this, I'm gonna throw you a pig dude after, so you be on it too.
Oh, what? Jesus. I'll tell you, these are some big promises.
And everybody was ready
He knows
to
people,
work.
though.
Not for
So
nothing.
they start working, and things look like it's going well, and the restaurant is packed, and they're cooking, and they're making gnocchi, and
I thought that restaurant looked kind of dreary.
Pardon?
I thought that restaurant looked kind of dreary.
Well, it did.
Well, it's in Baltimore. Everything's kind of dreary there.
Okay.
So, but then she looks out, and she sees her ex, Aiden.
Yeah.
And she goes walking out in the middle of a full, like she couldn't wait, or she couldn't pull him aside and talk through her teeth, like, what are you doing here? She had to go in the middle of the restaurant. And Aiden is there on a date.
Well, that was my favorite character in the movie, that blonde woman who doesn't say a word. She looks so glum. And she didn't win a contest, definitely, to be there. She's somebody's girlfriend, and she doesn't really want to be there, apparently.
Well, do you think that she's mad because the boyfriend promised her lines, but she had to sit there and have no lines?
Yeah, I think that may be it. Just come along. You're going to play your role today.
Yeah.
And she thought that like it was going to be her moment, but she's just sitting there with no lines.
No, it was her moment, as far as I'm concerned. But look so glum. So if you want a glum actor, she's available. I like her work.
So, Aiden says that he got an invite from the owner. That's why he's there. And he had no idea that she even owned the place.
Weird.
And she's yelling at him and causes a scene. And get your hands on me! And the critic is there, and the critic gives her a dirty look. And then Megan is like, ugh.
1 star.
And gets her out of there.
And this is where Lucy then goes and sits in the freezer next to... Did you see what she sat down next to?
Like
it was an animal that was hanging there. You know what animal that was? I think that was a pig.
Was it really?
I think it was.
Damn. I made a note that was mise en scène. Good use of mise en scène. I didn't know that, but
not sure if it was, but I think it was.
So she's crying. Then she goes home. Then she couldn't sleep. So then she went driving. And then the next day she gets a text from Megan. And it turns out that Aiden was murdered. So then the detective calls her in and he's like, and okay, people, when you get called in by detectives, you do not go in without your lawyer.
Yep.
She goes in there, she's giving attitude, she's shit talking, and it's like, you dumbass, anything you say can be held against you, dummy.
Yeah. Or you give like varying accounts, like you say, like, well, when were you out? When were you out driving? I guess from midnight or like 10.
No, you don't say anything.
4
I
in the
learned this on
morning.
Days of Our Lives.
You don't say anything.
Because then it'll come back to haunt you. Because on Days of Our Lives, when they're doing this and they're interrogating the person, the lawyer always walks in and goes, "Not another word to my client."
Mhm.
So that's how I know.
They use Days of Our Lives clips in law school now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. With the lawyer, and this lawyer always wears like, Kurt, you would like her. She always wears like shirts, but like a shirt, but puts a belt in it and makes it into like an outfit.
Oh, that's good. Some salivating pervert.
Sloan, you would like Sloan. Sloan Peterson.
That
And she's
name
the
sounds
lawyer for
familiar.
everybody in the town.
That name sounds familiar for some reason.
And so
Isn't the name of the first Bueller's girlfriend? Was she?
Her name is Sloan, yeah.
Yeah. Sloan Peterson. And was her name Sloan Peterson? This is maybe not. I don't know. You looking it up?
Let me look.
Google Google.
Sloan's a
Google.
unique name. So that's where I got Sloan from.
I'll send you a picture
Sloan
of
Peterson.
Peterson.
Good
It was
memory,
Sloan
Kurt.
Peterson.
Yeah,
That's
Sloan
the-
Peterson.
That's the name of the girlfriend first Bueller's Day Off, Sloan Peterson.
Oh, well, I'll send you a picture of the Sloan Peterson that I'm talking about. And Kurt, I think you will like her. So Lucy's shit talking, but then she realizes, this is actually serious. And then she's like, maybe I should have my lawyer.
Well, yeah, because he had the murder weapon was one of her knives that has her name engraved on it.
Yeah.
She has no alibi, and she was driving around aimlessly. The murder was sometime between 1 and 3, and she was out driving around at 2.
Yeah. So then, and then the detective's like, and you dummy, people saw you threaten him. You threatened him in a full crowded restaurant with a member of the press there.
So she's motive. There's no alibi. The murder weapon is hers. No.
So then this poor Megan, she's at the restaurant. She's like the only person working. She's the only person who works, pretty much. And Frank shows up and strangles her.
Yeah. And I'm like, aren't
That's what
there
you get.
surveillance cameras everywhere?
Right.
I thought she was dead.
I did
I
too.
thought so too. Yeah.
I did too. But then we see her and she's sitting in an ambulance and Lucy shows up and Megan is like, okay, I'm done with you. I'm done.
She definitely hit her health insurance deductible that week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she just had a lumpectomy a few days earlier.
Now she's in the ambulance. Jesus.
And then Megan like yells at her. And then we're back to the cold open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
And they're driving. They're following each other. They're going up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill.
Mhm.
Up the hill. Then she runs into the employees only door. Then he follows her.
Well, he can. It's employees only. Isn't that like a safe zone?
You would think,
Well-
but he's shown that he's not going to honor rules in this moment.
No.
Damn.
And he's like,
He clearly has
I
issues
could have
with
taken over
boundaries.
this- I could have taken over this restaurant if it wasn't for you and your damn restauranting.
Yeah.
And
then she starts bargaining with him. She's like, maybe we could run this place together.
yeah. It's like, it's too late.
It could be like one of those places that sell Chinese food and pizza.
Chinese food and donut. But then the cops come. He gets arrested.
I do think they should have teamed up. I do think they would be a good pair. Maybe like a business pair. Maybe they don't be like a romantic partnership. And some kind of partnership. They're both crazy.
Nope, but the cops take him away and he's wearing an ugly coat. And they take him to jail. Then the next day, the restaurant is full. Everybody's eating, and Frank's ex-wife is there having a meal.
Yeah.
We don't know that she's the ex.
Well, okay, so his estranged wife is there.
We don't know that they're estranged even.
There might be conjugal.
He's in jail, so they're estranged.
Well, he's in jail, but that doesn't mean they're estranged. Yeah. Like she could, maybe they reconciled before he went away.
Oh, like that reality show, Love After Lockup? Where people fall in love in prison and then they get out and then they get married, they have relationships.
Well, make it polyamorous because a lot of women are into men who are in jail.
And then there's a reality show, Love During Lockup, where women fall in love with men or men fall in love with women in jail.
Where are these shows?
News TV.
Oh. I gotta get my own show.
They're on Merge TV.
You guys can be on my show. It could be our show.
I would be on your show.
Yeah, because there's just too many shows, and I don't see any reason why I can't get something going.
Right. Well, why don't you get a girlfriend in prison?
All right. That'd be win-win. She's in prison.
The wife is sitting there eating her meal, and for her troubles, Lucy sends her out I guess a free dessert.
She likes it. She has a kind of a smile on her face, like, this is good, and that's the end. I do
sorry, I helped in the end of your relationship with the love of your life. Please have a creme brulee on me.
Yes, she loved it.
Tell you what, I react the same way.
Yeah, fair.
I would.
They barely showed any food, by the way, in this movie, even though they were always cooking.
Barely did.
But it made me want to open a restaurant. I thought maybe that'd be kind of cool to open up a little diner.
So much work.
I guess it would be a big pain in the ass, and most of them don't succeed, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm making this up to all of us because next week I won't tell you what killer to the audience, so I won't jinx us. But I've already picked out a killer movie, and killer movies never disappoint. Knock on wood. Because I think this is a good killer scenario.
I'm a killer, baby.
I think.
I'll choke you, but I know killer, baby.
Oh, who's that?
I'm 24 and I'm still a baby. What's that guy's name? You know that song. I don't want no whips and chains. Don't
What are you listening to, Kurt?
You know that song?
Oh, by Jack Harlow?
Yeah, that's what it is. See, Les, you don't know the current music.
Yes, I do.
I know the current music, the current television. Oh, the network television. I know Young Sheldon. And
Young Sheldon.
I
love that you just discovered Young Sheldon. That's right. You know that Matlock is coming back.
So Help Me Todd with
well, that's gone.
Marcia Gay Harden. That's gone.
It was canceled.
No, but they're rebooting. They are rebooting Matlock.
Yeah, with Kathy Bates.
Yeah, I saw a preview of that. And then the premise that the show Matlock existed.
Oh, okay. Oh, she related to him?
Yeah. No, she says, I'm Matlock, just like the TV show.
Oh,
so it's meta. It's very meta.
Matlock. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
All right. Well, you know what else is meta? If you want to find me, you can find me on my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com, or on Instagram at Kirkendall. And if you're in Atlanta the week of June 18th, I'm doing my show, The Real Black Swan, Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen, at the Lavender Fest in Atlanta. And for more information, you can go to outstages.com. Jason.
Please rate and review us wherever you listen to your podcast. Give us 5 stars. It helps more people find the show. Speaking of meta, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. And I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Okay, so kurtfitzpatrick.com. My next performance is my show, The Jester of All Maladies, will be in the very first Green Bay Fringe Festival.
Woo!
That will be, you can look it up, it's going to be July 19th and July 20th. I'm doing 3 shows. July 21st. Sorry. Okay, July 21st and July 20th. All right, more details as we get closer.
Kurt, have you ever been to Wisconsin?
Oh, yes.
You can have
Yes,
lots
I've
of...
been to Green Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can have lots of beer and cheese. And anyway, that's it. It was a short one this week.
Yeah.
But, there wasn't much to this movie. I think that we actually, considering how little there was in this movie, I think we did a good job.
No, it was as tight as a pig bottom. It was
So not tight.
no, I
Not
guess
tight.
not. No, actually, it was tight. I just had to use it again for the last time. So
I like
have it on
that.
vocabulary.
I like that. Kurt, learning new words.
Tighter than.
Tighter than a pig
A lot of things are tighter than a pig bottom.
Oh, yeah. Pig bottoms aren't so tight.
It's like flapping in the
No.
wind.
Oh. I never want to hear about it again. You don't have to tell me about these things. I don't need to know.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, well, we'll have new words for you next week. So, bye.
Bye.
Bye.